Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan. Well, hopefully you saw the video I made a couple months ago about Splenda, the artificial sugarless sweetener. And I made that video because there's a certain other nameless YouTuber who promotes Splenda, tells her viewers to use it all the time. It's great, it's super healthy for you, has no adverse health effects. So I made a response video because of that, because that is completely wrong. And in fact, she made a response video to my response video showing how I'm completely wrong and Splenda's very safe and healthy, even vegan. So I'm glad she did that, because that's one thing I did not address in my first video, how very non-vegan Splenda is. So I'm going to get to that in a second. But firstly, Dr. Greger just put out a video a few days ago about Splenda.
You know, all this time, artificial sweeteners were meant to stave off chronic diseases, but may actually be contributing to the problem due to microbial alterations.
Interesting. A product that's supposed to help fight diabetes and obesity actually brings it on by changing your intestinal gut flora. Let's take a look at that. Before that, though, let's see how safe Splenda really is.
The Splenda company emphasizes that sucralose is hardly even absorbed into the body, and so stays in the digestive tract to be quickly eliminated from the body.
Well, as a PR talking point, yeah, that sounds great, huh? Not absorbed by the body. Well, what about the small intestine? That's its role, is to absorb foods that you eat.
But the fact that it's not absorbed in the small intestine means it makes it down to the large intestine, and may affect our gut flora.
Well, can this be safe? What do the studies actually show?
This may be of particular importance to patients with diseases correlated with modifications of gut bacteria, such as IBD, inflammatory bowel disease, like ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease.
Well, let's look at what happens when a country introduces Splenda into their marketplace.
Let's look at Canada. They were the first country to approve the use of sucralose. So what happened to their rates of IBD? Rates did seem to double after the approval of sucralose.
Well, that's just one country, but the rate did double. Well, what happened in other countries?
In China, after the approval of sucralose, IBD rates rose 12-fold.
Well, 12 times is pretty hardcore, but still, it's just two countries, and it's still just correlation. I know that's what she's going to say, right? Correlation doesn't imply causation. Well, what happens when we look at even more countries?
But such correlations were also found on 2 other continents as well. The more graphs that you see like this, the harder it is to dismiss a possible connection.
Indeed, this is part of correct scientific thinking. If you see the same correlation popping up over and over and over and over again, it's probably something going on. You better not just ignore it and say, oh, correlation doesn't imply causation. So now finally, how vegan or non-vegan is Splenda? Well, this unnamed YouTuber read on her channel a corporate letter from the makers of Splenda, and they're professing how they kill as few animals as possible, and they haven't done so for many, many years. Like, that makes it right. Really downplaying and minimizing how horrific the introduction of Splenda has been for animals. Well, the unfortunate, sad truth about Splenda, aka sucralose, is that in just one study alone in the United Kingdom, over 12,800 animals were killed in testing it. Monkeys, dogs, rabbits, mice, and rats were all killed. And what they were doing is trying to observe the effects of massive doses of sucralose on these animals, and it's horrific. For instance, monkeys were force-fed sucralose, and several of which died of brain damage. And dogs were killed after 52 weeks by draining their blood. The British Union for the Abolition of Vivisection has estimated that tens of thousands of animals have died in the testing of this product. Well, in my last video on this subject, I showed how there's no need to have these unnatural sweeteners that kill animals and have all these adverse health effects. As I showed, there are plenty of natural sweeteners that you could find in pretty much any supermarket in the United States. There's no reason. Like I'm saying, why would you support a product that needs to kill 10,000 animals just so you can have some stupid sweetener that we don't need? So if you're really concerned about not getting fat, just eat a whole food, plant-based diet and get sufficient exercise. Move your butt, get out there, run, play basketball, ride a bike, do something. So let me know down below in the questions and comments, what do you think of Splenda? I think it's complete crap, obviously. Do you think you can still call yourself a vegan if you're using and promoting Splenda? I think not. So if you got something out of this video, hit like, share it with a friend who thinks Splenda is totally healthy and very vegan. And oh yeah, subscribe if you're new to our channel. Until next time, guys, keep it carb, baby. Stay away from that artificial sweetener. So if you haven't seen it already, I'm going to link to it down below. See Dr. Greger's full video about this. It's an extremely compelling argument between the connection of Splenda and the adverse health effects of Splenda by its attacking your natural gut flora.